Today on Third Rock Outdoors, we are starting a new series called Ski News, where this is episode 1, and what we're always going to talk about is anything that is ski related. So it can be news within the last couple weeks, or it could be news of today. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something that is fascinating to me as an avid skier, and that is the top 10 resorts in North America. Now, these were ranked by USA Today's 10 Best Reader Choice for 2023 to 2024 season. Now, before we dive into this, you are going to kind of be amazed. What we're going to talk about is all 10 ski resorts, and they are out west and in the Northeast. And there is one surprise, which you're going to have to wait to the end to see that surprise. So here it is, USA Today's 10 Best Reader Choice. So choose a perfect ski resort. So within this, you are going to be able to, after this episode, you're going to be able to see and be able to tell where you might want to go for your next ski destination. And number one is one place you may not have thought of. So these are the ski areas all across the United States and Canada, and they're prepping for this season. So what this article talks about is this was voted by its peers, and you would think that these are going to be all mountains out west. Well, you're going to be surprised that these really aren't, but they do base these on snowfall, varied terrain, the lift access, and there's a lot more that they do base these on. So starting at number 10, you have Alta Ski Area in Utah. So it's famously known for its skiers with snowboards forbidden on the Utah resort, but this old school ski area features plenty of modern convenience like the six-pack Sundays chairlift with an average snowfall of 538 inches of snow each winter. So there is skiable acres of 2,614 acres with 116 runs. So it's a great ski resort to be at. Number 9 comes in Cannon Mountain in New Hampshire. And this is about, it looks like this mountain, they're saying here it's about 4,000 feet. And they do have a tram that can take 70 passengers up to the top. Now they do have 10 lifts serving 97 trails and glades. Number 8, Sun Valley Resort in Idaho. Probably wouldn't have thought of something like this in Idaho, but this is almost the start of the Rockies. It's not going to be your highest destination, but this resort has been open since 1936 with 2,054 skiable acres and 121 total runs. Number 7, which only made number 7, is Vail Ski Resort. So this is kind of surprising because everyone knows of Vail. Vail is one of those extremely popular ski resorts. They have the Epic Pass. They have many known locations all over the world, but they've only made number 7, which their highest peak is 11,570 feet with a skiable footprint of 5,000 acres. They do have back bowls, and this is a very highly irresistible destination. It is North America's 4th largest ski resort, which Big Sky is number 1. However, Big Sky did not make this list. So didn't spoil anything for you for any of those Big Sky fans out there. Number 6 is Palisades Tahoe. So another massive ski resort, and it only made number 6. Now this was also voted on by its peers, but you would think a lot more people would vote on the Palisades or Vail for how big it is, but it did not make it. So there is 6,000 acres of terrain with 30 different lifts. They do have bowls and glades and alpine mount access on the same, so you can get it on the same lift tickets. Number 5, Heavenly Mountain, South Lake Tahoe, California. So we do have, what do we have here? We did have 2 California ski resorts on this list. Not surprising, because they have many ski destinations along with Colorado, which has only been 1 so far for as many mountains out there with Beaver Creek. That's included right next to Vail, which is very highly popular. So They have 34 miles of groomed trail. That's the key highlight, it looks like in here. And they got the Olympic downhill run to test your skills on the steeps. Number 4, which we're getting down the list here, is in Minnesota. So another unknown location where you really don't think of having ski resorts, but right here they got 1,000 acres and with an 825-foot vertical drop. So I mean, to have a small ski resort make it on the list like this at number 4, I mean that's incredible. Number 3, Winter Park Resort. So in Winter Park, Colorado. So Winter Park, another Colorado resort, did make it number 3. It's a great destination. I have not been there myself. Love to get out in the rocky areas, but it sits on 765,000 acres of public land and offering 3,000 skiable acres. You can get to the top with views at 12,060 feet above sea level, and they got varied terrain all through it. Now we're getting close to our number 1. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'll go back for a second here. So in the background, I do have number 1. So if any of you noticed that, you probably already guessed it, but number 1 is in the background on the screen. So number 2, Banff Sunshine Village, I believe that's how you spell it, in Alberta, Canada. The only one that made it on this list in Canada. And Canada has a lot of great ski resorts. I'm surprised Whistler didn't make this. So Whistler wasn't number 1, but Banff Sunshine Village is on this list with offering more than 3,500 acres of skiable terrain. Now you ready? Now you're not going to believe where number 1 is. We did have one Midwest resort on here, but we do have a second. A Midwest resort coming out of Michigan, which you wouldn't believe that Michigan actually has a resort on here. You wouldn't even think that there's mountains in Michigan, but we do have hills. There are hills in Michigan. But at number 1, it sits in the Upper Peninsula, and here you have it. Mount Bohemia in Lac La Belle, Michigan. Now this is incredible. I mean, I've seen this all over the news now. This is your number 1 ski resort destination in North America, ranked by USA Today's 10 best. So I mean, it's an unbelievable resort. And Mount Bohemia, I mean, they get an average of 273 inches of snow. They do not groom their trails at all. So it really feels like backcountry out there. And that's what they say. That's with the 900-foot vertical drop. They do say that you do feel, and a lot of people do say this. And I've read this. I have not been there myself, but they do have. It just feels like you're out there. You're out there in the out west. The West Mountains. But you'd be surprised that you're actually sitting in the Midwest. Now we're going to look at Mount Bohemia a little bit, but this is surprising. And it's been all over the news. I'm pretty amazed by this. So we go here to Mount Bohemia. There's a nice little homepage. And their season passes are sold out already. But Mount Bohemia does offer lodging. They got a Nordic spa, wood-fired pizza, and you can see their daily lift tickets. Now they call it the Voodoo Mountain, which is pretty interesting. I'm sure there's some history, and you could probably take a look through this website. But we'll just go to the trail maps, or a little bit about it first. So, like I said, it has 900 feet of a vertical drop, 273 inches of snow a year, with only 585 acres. That's a small footprint compared to all those top 10 ski resorts that are sitting here. All those other 9 is a small footprint. But this ski resort, with only 2 chairlifts, this ski resort still ranks number 1. So they do have different features here that you can see. They have glades and ungladed. They have chutes. They got small and large cliffs. I mean, if you want fresh powder and ungroom the entire mountain, this is your place to go when you're thinking about your next ski trip. So let's take a look at the trail map here. They have 4 different sides of the mountains. It looks like it did say on here when I was reading earlier that you can access 3 of the 4 sides by the 2 lifts that are offered. And most of their stuff is ranked, except for one over here, 2 intermediate trails, but mostly everything's black diamond, double black diamond, or triple black diamond. So this is just one of their maps. Pretty impressive. Very impressive mountain. They do offer lodging, which you can get a big yurt, cabins, and it looks like there's an inn on Lac La Belle too, or you can go hostel. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Camping is also offered. I believe there's a couple towns just north of there they're probably a 15-20 minute drive from the mountain if you choose not to be here. So, if you enjoyed the video, you can take a look at the background here. I mean, it looks like a beautiful mountain. You know, I'd really want to go one day when my ski skills are up there. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, keep on skiing.